You know, it's funny how life teaches you lessons, but not always when you want them. Some lessons come too early to understand. Some come too late to change. And then there are those lessons that only appear when the noise quiets down. The pace slows, and you're standing on the long, calm road beyond 70. If you're young and listening, you might think you already know what's important. And maybe you do, a little. But let me tell you something. There's a kind of wisdom that doesn't come from books, podcasts, or motivational speeches. It comes from birthdays, a lot of them. It comes from watching seasons pass, people change, and moments slip through your fingers. Today, I want to share with you 5 of those lessons, not from a place of theory or philosophy, but from the deep wells of life lived, loved, lost, and learned from. Now, if you're under 70, you've got a head start. If you're over 70, maybe you'll nod along and smile. Either way, these truths matter because they don't just tell us how to live longer, they show us how to live better. You don't realize how fast time moves until you're old enough to look back and say, where did it all go? At 25, it feels like the world will wait. At 35, you're chasing. At 45, you're building. And then suddenly, you're 70, and you're not chasing anything anymore. You're reflecting. And here's what you notice. All those things you thought were urgent, deadlines, upgrades, promotions, they weren't the main event. Life was happening around them, not inside them. You remember sitting in traffic, missing dinner with your family. You remember scrolling your phone while your child tried to tell you something important. You remember saying later to too many things that never came around again. Because time doesn't always give second chances. And when you're 70, you don't wish for more stuff. You wish you'd done less rushing and more living. It's not just about doing more, it's about being more. Being more present, being more grateful, being more intentional with your time, because time is not promised. And the tragedy is, most people don't learn this until they have less time than they thought. At 25, friends are everywhere. At 35, you're too busy. At 45, life is scheduled. And by the time you're 70, you'll look around and count on one hand the people still standing beside you. And here's what you learn after 70. Relationships age like fruit, not like wine. If you neglect them, they don't get better with time. They rot. You see, at 70, it's not the size of your house or your car that matters. It's the size of your circle. Who still calls you? Who shows up at your door? Who remembers your stories and tells you theirs? Regret doesn't come from the people who left. Regret comes from the people you pushed away by being too busy, too proud, or too distracted. The ones you didn't hug enough, the ones you never apologized to, the ones you thought you'd have time to catch up with later. There's an old saying, don't be too busy making a living that you forget to make a life. Well, let me add this. Don't be too busy to love, to forgive, to connect. Because at the end, relationships are all that remain. Not the meetings, not the deals, not the goals you hit, just the memories you made with people who loved you. So, plant those seeds now. Water them often. Show up. Say sorry. Say thank you. Say I love you before it's too late. Because at 70, the richest people are the ones with people who still want to sit beside them, not the ones with the highest net worth. Let me tell you a secret. You don't think about your knees until they stop working. When you're young, health is invisible. You don't see it. You don't notice it. You eat what you want, sleep when you can, move only when you have to. You treat your body like it's replaceable. But after 70, every step is a reminder. Every stare, every ache, every morning when you wake up slower than the day before. And here's the lesson. Your health was your freedom all along. You just didn't know it. See, success without health is like a sports car with no fuel. It looks great, but you can't go anywhere. At 70, you realize that energy is a currency, and when you've spent it all, there's no refund. People will spend 40 years trading their health for wealth, and then spend the next 20 trading their wealth just to stay alive. So start early. Walk more, eat real food, laugh often, stretch your body, protect your sleep like it's your bank account. Because one day, it will be. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware. Take care of your body now, so it can take care of you when you need it most. At 70, you don't need six-pack abs. You need strong legs to walk through the park with your grandkids. You need a clear mind to remember your favorite memories. You need a peaceful heart, steady breath, and a body that still says yes to life. Health won't make you happy by itself, but without it, happiness becomes much harder to carry. You remember the big days, right? The graduation, the wedding, the promotion, the vacations. But let me tell you something you only realize after 70. The moments that shaped your life weren't the grand ones. They were the ordinary ones. It was the quiet dinner on a Tuesday night when everyone laughed without checking their phones. It was the bedtime story your child asked to hear for the 10th time. It was the random walk with your spouse when you talked about nothing and everything. You don't remember those in the moment. But later, years later, those are the moments that replay in your mind like warm music. Why? Because life is not made of highlights. It's made of habits. After 70, you understand that meaning lives in the mundane. The daily coffee, the hugs you gave, the kindness you showed, the help you offered, the way you made someone feel loved, seen, safe. Chasing the next big thing makes you miss the right now. And here's the thing, you never know which moment is the last of its kind. The last time your child asks you to play, the last time your parent calls, the last time your friend stops by. So stop scrolling past your life. Be present, be here, be all in, because the little things, one day they'll be all you have left. You don't need more things to feel alive. You need to pay attention to the life already happening in front of you. At 70, you realize peace isn't a place. It's not a beach or a mountain or a number in your bank account. Peace is when who you are, what you believe, and how you live all line up. When you're young, you bend to please. You hustle to impress. You wear masks to fit in. You trade authenticity for acceptance. But eventually, the soul gets tired of pretending. The heart gets heavy from carrying what's not real. At 70, peace comes from being yourself, fully, finally, and unapologetically. It's the quiet joy of saying no without guilt, the comfort of not needing to explain yourself, the deep breath that comes when your choices reflect your values, not someone else's expectations. Peace isn't loud, it doesn't post online, it doesn't beg for attention, it just is. It's being kind when no one's watching. It's living a life you're proud of. Not because it was perfect, but because it was honest. If you're chasing peace through things, titles, toys, status, stop. Look inward. Align your days with your values. Live gently. Speak truth. Give more than you take, because at the end, the one who sleeps well is richer than the one who just looks rich. So here's the conclusion. Life is not as long as we think, but it's wide with opportunity. If you listen early, love fully, move your body, cherish the everyday, and live in line with your values, then maybe, just maybe, you won't reach 70 full of regret, but full of peace. Life doesn't hand you peace. It grows where your choice is. Plant it. And the best time to plant? Today. Thank you for being here and for caring enough to reflect on your future. I hope this message blesses your journey ahead. Wherever you are in life, whether you're starting out halfway through or standing at the edge of 70, I wish you courage, clarity, and a life that feels true to you. Good luck, and thank you for listening.